welcome to the Crispy Egg podcast. My name is Ellie Kerr, and in association with Merseyside Women of the Year, and we're here talking to the wonderful Jen Deeney. Jen, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Ellie.
Pleasure. Lovely to see you. Now, in 2024, you were our finalist for the Women in Health and Wellbeing.
That's right.
How was it?
It was amazing, so it was.
Oh, thank
I
you.
was absolutely overwhelmed, firstly, to be nominated, even more overwhelmed to find out I was a finalist. And on the day, we had such an amazing day. We just laughed all day, really, and probably drank a little bit too much as well.
Yeah, your friends were amazing. Your whole table was really noisy.
Yes, we had a busy table. Lots of my friends work in construction. They like a good party.
Oh.
And obviously in healthcare, so a real mixed bag at my table. So it was a busy, noisy table that we didn't finish till quite late that evening.
Yes, it was quite late because I was still with you.
Absolutely.
So what have you been up to? Because it's 12 months gone. What have you been up to?
So over the last 12 months have been busy for me in many different ways. So professionally, I have moved jobs. I've got promoted to become Deputy Director of Nursing at Liverpool Heart and Chest.
Wow.
I worked at the Women's before that in neonatal care, so that's been a big change and a big challenge. I have done a huge challenge for a charity that I'm really passionate about called the Lighthouse Club, and it supports construction workers. I am a single mum, and so I've got a now 11-year-old that keeps me on my toe. I've learned lots about rugby and other things, keeping that all going. So yeah, it's been a busy year for me.
That's a lot of juggling. Lots of juggling.
Lots of juggling.
And also moving jobs because you were at the Women's quite a long time.
I was at the Women's for 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years.
And then to move into I'm hands up. I don't know. Obviously, I know about nursing and I know what you do. But then to go totally different from neonatal to
so I went from looking and being responsible for 40 small babies. My biggest patient probably about 5 kilos. To being responsible for lots of big men and women who have cardiac and respiratory issues. But it's been a great experience, and I think what it's taught me is I think we underestimate what we can do, and especially as women, we always think we need another course, don't we? And
yes.
I need to do this, and I can't go for that job yet because I haven't done this and I haven't done that. And I think I just went on a leap of blind faith thinking, I can do this, I can do this. And actually what I've learned is, yes, I can do it, and I have lots of transferable skills that I can use, and I'm good enough, and I'm not too proud to ask the silly questions. So for the clinical stuff where I need a bit of help, I'll ask the silly questions. But in the other areas around leadership and stuff, that's my forte, that's my bag, and it's what I love to do. So,
have you found the difference though, or is that just been seamless, the fact that you have those transferable skills?
I've been really fortunate in that my boss that I started working for, my director of nursing, has been amazing. And she's really helped me with that transition. And I think that's the thing, when you have somebody that helps you and guides you, but fills you with that self-confidence that you can do it, it makes a huge difference, doesn't it? And you move at a better pace. And so for me, having somebody who had that confidence in me without even really knowing me has really, really helped me and made that transition much easier.
It's so easy, isn't it, to talk yourself out of it and feel like you're not good enough.
Absolutely.
And then for somebody then to sort of say, well, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And say, oh, okay, then, yeah, I must be. And that sort of like, gives you that little boost.
It is, and we're often very good, aren't we, at putting ourselves down, saying, oh, I can't do that and I can't do that. And often we don't we don't encourage our peers, our women peers, to say, come on, you can do this. Just go for it. Just give it a try. I think I've learned as I get older, you know what, not to be afraid. And my standard stock answer now is, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? And actually, if the worst that can happen is no, somebody says no to me, well, then it's worth a try, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it worth a try? And if it doesn't go right, then it wasn't meant to be. You just try something else, and eventually you'll find your niche and your fit. But you've got to keep trying, and you've got to keep challenging yourself. And I think sometimes it's easy to put your slippers on and become comfy within the role you're in your zone, isn't it? And actually, but you take away the excitement of actually, what can I do next? What's my next challenge? I think back of my mum when she was my age. I turned 50 last year. She seems so much older than I feel now.
I know. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
And I don't feel old. I don't feel old, and I feel like actually I haven't done all the things I want to do. And I couldn't imagine going to work and not being challenged. Couldn't imagine. And I think that's just what I need.
Yeah. But I think obviously the sector you're in, it is a really challenging atmosphere. I mean, like you're not dealing with tins of beans, are you? You're dealing with people's lives.
Yeah.
So also so it is a very challenging arena.
It is a challenging arena, and you're dealing with people when they're at their most vulnerable. And I think that's the thing. Nobody chooses to go to hospital.
No.
When you walk through the doors of a hospital, you've suffered a trauma, and I think we don't always see that. And I was talking earlier about trauma-informed care. Anybody that goes into a hospital, whether it's to have a baby or for an operation or for a medical reason, the minute you go through the doors, you haven't chosen to be there. And that's a trauma, and sometimes we underestimate the psychological impact that can have on people. And can have on their families, because as mothers, as brothers, sisters, grandchildren, all we want to do is protect those we love. And so we put our prickles up, don't we, to make sure we protect them, and we do what we have to do. And it's our job in healthcare to navigate that, and to figure out how do we meet that common ground, that we can help you feel safe, but we can also make sure you get the care you need in the way that you need it, while actually maintaining that our staff are safe and happy too. So it's always a juggling.
Well, you're obviously doing something right, because this week, obviously, the league tables, the government have done this league table thing now, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Liverpool, Heart and Chest were number 4
in the country. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
I know, it's phenomenal.
What a great effort, because obviously it's not just one person, it's a whole
it's
team.
It's the whole team. And you know what?
But that's an accolade.
Absolutely. Top in the Northwest as well. Get that one in too.
Oh yes, please do.
But it's not just about nursing staff, it's about the whole spectrum of people that work at Liverpool Heart and Chest. It's about the whole spectrum of people that work there. I was walking down the corridor the other day, and a gentleman came in, and he was short of breath, and he needed to go somewhere, and it was on the other side of the hospital, and it was really difficult to get to. And our lovely porter came up, and he goes, "Oh, hang on, mate, I'll just leave my trolley there. Come on, I'll walk you over." And that's all the difference it takes from a good experience to a bad experience, that somebody actually just takes the time. Kindness doesn't cost anything. And I think, that's what we do really well at Liverpool Heart and Chest. We do kindness. And I think that's what our patients see. I've known we've had patients who have come in who haven't had any family. I know staff have gone out and bought them pyjamas and slippers and to ask them did they fancy a takeaway and buy them a takeaway, and they don't have to do that, but actually kindness breeds kindness.
But it's also to do with culture, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because a fish rots from the head down.
Yeah.
So sort of like it's having that leadership and that culture that then empowers people and gives people that the feeling that they can not do that, because kindness is innate, isn't it? Because people will do that.
Yeah.
But if they feel as if that's part of the culture.
But it has to be role modelled, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It has to be role modelled, because if you don't see it, you don't do it.
Yeah, you can't be.
And I think, I think you're right, it is a culture, and the culture, and it's a hard culture to maintain. Times aren't easy now. People have lots of stresses inside work, outside of work, and as I say, our patients that come in are vulnerable. And it is really hard. It is really hard. But having that culture makes it a good place to work. And people don't want to lose that. Our staff survey was in the top of the country last year as well. So, you know, our staff are happy with where they work. They feel listened to. And it's not always just about listening, but it's about hearing and implementing what you hear.
It is. Yeah.
Because we talk a lot about listening, but actually it's okay to listen, but you have to hear as well.
Yeah, but also you have to back that up with action, don't you?
Absolutely, you've got to back that up with action.
You can absolutely tell, because it's like radiating off you. Number one, I'm not surprised that you're number 4 in the country, because you can tell the passion, and that passion, as I say, cascades down. But also, you're a busy woman outside, aren't you? Because you've just done your lighthouse tour.
Yeah, so I lost my husband in a workplace accident 21 years ago. We'd been married for 13 weeks and 2 days, and this year I wanted to do something special. And I am a fundraising ambassador for the Lighthouse charity, and I decided I would do something this year, and I decided to visit 50 lighthouses in the period of 93 days, the length we were married. And so we went across England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales to do that. I'm a font of useless information about lighthouses. But you know what? It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And actually,
it looked fun. It looked fun.
It was good fun. And what it took me out of was the mundane of you finish work on a Friday and you go home and you do the cleaning and you do the homework and you do, you know, you just do, and you you sit down at home and you don't go out and you don't do this and you don't that. Actually, we've seen so much of the country, and we met so many friends that lived all over the country as we did it, and people who walked with us and climbed with us, and you know, and it was really good fun. We did have lots of wine as well throughout.
Because whenever I went, I was like, "Where is she now? Where are they now? Which lighthouse?" I didn't know there were that many.
There is actually over 200 in England alone.
Oh wow!
And another 200 in Scotland. So we've only tipped the surface.
But it was enough. It was enough.
But it was enough. But we might do more.
But you raised a really good amount.
We raised just under £25,000.
Well
but gift
done,
aid,
Jen.
it's into £26,000. But yeah.
That's magnificent.
So it was brilliant. Really, really chuffed with that. But that was a lot of people coming together and companies taking on the challenges. Companies walked to lighthouses. They built small little lighthouses and cycled between them. There was lots of fun had along the way, and people sent me lighthouses from all over the country and all over the world actually. So that was really amazing. So it was a real fun challenge. We finished off, Kieran died in Docklands. I didn't realise there was a lighthouse in Docklands, but there is. And we walked from the lighthouse in Docklands, and there's a
So is that Canary Wharf?
Canary Wharf, and we walked from there to, there's a memorial to Kieran in Canary Wharf, and we walked from there to the memorial. And there was about 30 of us all together, so it was really lovely. One funny bit I will tell you was one night I was lying in bed, couldn't sleep, menopausal, can't sleep. So I decided, the hotel Kieran was working in was a Hilton hotel. So I decided I would email the VP for Europe and Asia and ask him if he could help me with anything. As you do at 11 o'clock at night when you're lying in bed. He got back to me by 10 o'clock the next morning, had introduced me to the director for UK and Ireland and the general manager for the hotel, and they put on a buffet and drinks for us free of charge in the Hilton in Canary Wharf. So pretty amazing.
That is. From sort of like not even a 24 hour time frame, or we'll be there 2 weeks on Wednesday the night before. Oh wow.
So we'd done it a couple of months before, but I didn't think they'd say yes. Not for a second did I think they'd say yes. But I just said I'm asking you because you've got the final say. So I said I may as well go to the top.
I'm not talking to any buttons here. We want the shirt.
Want the shirt.
We want the shirt. No buttons. We want the shirt.
You can say yes or no. It'll be on you, not on anybody else.
But that's a nice way to celebrate.
It's a celebration of life.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm very much a glass half full person. You have to be grateful for what you've had, not what you didn't have. And as I say, I talk in industry as well, so I go around.
You talk all over the place, all over the world, don't you?
All over the world, yeah.
So when I said you're a busy woman, you are a busy woman.
I am. I do. I work full time as a nurse, so on my holidays or days off, I go around the country talking and wherever they want me, really. But as I always say, you know, my jigsaw is the same as everybody else's. I've just put my pieces in differently. So I've just put my pieces in differently. And, you know, life is there to be enjoyed. We take for granted that tomorrow will come. And actually what we need to do is go, no.
It's not promised, is it?
It's not promised. You know, don't take it for granted. It's a privilege to grow old. And we forget that.
I know.
It's a privilege to grow old and actually embrace every day as it comes.
So the Lighthouse Club?
Oh, the Lighthouse Charity.
What do they do?
So they are an amazing charity that support construction workers. And what they do is they offer advice on mental health. That's one thing. We know that 2 men a week die of suicide in the UK alone. And they go around making it possible for men to talk about their feelings and what it's like. And they do that on site with the guys in the gear, in the canteens. So it's really important. There's a helpline then that people can access.
That's an unbelievable statistic.
Yeah. It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. 2 a week.
Yeah, 2 a week. That's a lot of men. They also help families who, if their partners had an accident at work and can't work, they might help with mortgage payments, you know, childcare payments, stuff like that. The day-to-day expenses, they've got a fund that they can help with that as well. They provide training courses for young people. So there's loads of different schemes that you can go and look, and they can help with training. They do a myriad of stuff. I think if you went to them with something and said you needed help, they'd find a way to help you.
Yeah, they'd make it happen. It's not computer says no.
The computer
needs
says
to fit in this box.
It doesn't have to fit in the box.
Yeah.
I think as long as it fits within the constitution of the charity, which is to help construction workers, they can make it work. And, you know, just because it doesn't have to be the actual construction worker, it can be the family of the construction worker. And I think that's the really, really important thing that they do.
And that's obviously they've helped you,
so I didn't know about the charity when Kieran died, and so my mortgage company decided they weren't going to pay out. They decided they were going to avoid our life insurance policies for all the wrong reasons. And so I knew Kieran's wages stopped the day he died, and I knew I wouldn't be able to afford my mortgage on my own. I always say the construction workers in London, UK and Ireland came around me and gave me a big hug. And actually they raised enough money to help me pay my mortgage for 18 months while I fought the insurance company. And they did, the insurance company paid out in the end. But I couldn't pay each of those individuals back. And it's really humbling to accept help.
Yeah, it is.
When you come from a background, I was always told you have to work for what you want. You don't get anything for nothing in this world. It's very hard to accept help, isn't it? It's really difficult to say I need help. But the construction workers weren't taking no for an answer, and I vowed that I would pay tenfold back what was given to me. Now I knew I couldn't pay it back to the individual, but I knew I could pay that forward.
Yeah.
And so throughout the years, that's what I've done. I've done naked calendars, and I am Miss March. Amazing what you can cover with a pair of welding gloves.
Oh wow, fabulous.
I've done a marathon, let me tell you, never again.
Oh my giddy ends.
I tore my calf at mile 13, but 7 hours, 18 minutes, 51 seconds later, I crossed that finish line.
Goodness.
But let me tell you, there was somebody smaller and fitter than me that had to be carried across. So I walked on my own 2 legs.
Yeah.
So I was made up. I've carried the Olympic torch.
Oh, wow.
And that was pretty amazing. So I've done, you know, I was at the topping out ceremony of the Olympic Stadium.
Oh,
because I did a lot of work with McAlpines. And I'm in the book of the people that helped build the stadium, because I did lots of talks for LOCOG, the Olympic Committee, and Team Stadium. So I've done some amazing things that I never thought I would do. I mean,
and also you've been instrumental in government, haven't you?
So well, it started off that after Kieran died, I wanted to understand more about the law. So I left nursing and I applied for a job as a health and safety inspector. And I got a job with HSC. There was 1,500 of us interviewed and I got the first place. They were investigating Kieran's case at the time. I hadn't told them that when I got the job. Because I wanted to understand how the law worked. Because I couldn't understand how somebody could go to work and not come home.
Yeah.
And so I did that. And then through connections, this lady called Baroness Deeney contacted me and she said, I've got to write a report about construction industry deaths. Would you talk to me? I said, of course I will. And so she wrote a report called One Death is Too Many. And they were my words to her. And she talks about Kieran and I in her report. And that report is now embedded within the House of Commons. And I got to see her present that at the House of Commons. And, you know, one of my main things was that Kieran didn't just become another construction worker that died. And I think there's not many people in construction that don't know of Kieran Deeney now and what his legacy.
His legacy, yeah.
So for me, and you know what, if that changes one person's path along the way, then it's a job well done, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. So all these things that you do, when I have a foundation and a framework that I use around network, information, money, and self-belief.
Yeah.
So you in so many different things. Which of one of those four things would you say, network, information, money, and self-belief, has helped you?
I think all of them, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
So you never think the job you're in would relate to the things I do outside of work, but they're all entwined. So, you know, I can go and talk to the CEOs of construction companies because I know how to talk to board members, but I can talk to the guys on the ground. And, you know, that networking for me has been the people that I've met along the way have said, oh, I've seen Jen talk. I go and talk, as I say, around the country and around the world, but I've never gone and looked for anybody to come to say, can I come and talk for you? They've always come and found me. And that's because of the networks you make and the people that you meet, isn't it? And I've met people through my nursing because I've built the new hospital at the Women's, the new neonatal unit. You know, we did a new neonatal unit when I worked in London. I met construction company people through that. And it's funny how it all comes full circle, doesn't it? Yeah. I suppose money has probably played the least in it because actually the money bit of it isn't important to me. It's why I'll never be a millionaire because money isn't important enough to me to count. But in saying that, the money has played a part in that it's helped me feel like I've paid back my debt. Yeah. And I think that's really important. And I think that it makes me feel really good that I've done that and I've paid that forward by helping raise that money. And I think that gives you a serenity or a feeling of completion. That's the 2, 3, what was it?
Network, information, money, and self-belief.
Information is key, and that's why I'm a bit of a nerd, haven't I? I've gone and got a job at HSC. I've gone and found out about lighthouses. I've information. And, you know, the worst thing anybody can do to me is tell me I can't do something. The minute you tell me I can't do it, I'll say I can do it. Yeah. I did that. I regretted that. That's kind of how I ended up doing a marathon. Somebody said to me, you wouldn't be able to do a marathon. I said, of course I can do a marathon. They said, Jen, you couldn't.
Watch me and take pictures.
Somebody else said to me, oh, you couldn't do a 20-mile bike ride. You wouldn't be able to do that. I said, yes, I can.
and I did.
And I think I always go, oh my God, please don't say, don't say, if you want me to do something, tell me I can't do it.
Yeah, you're very similar to me. If somebody says they chuck the gauntlet down and you just pick it up and smack them round the face with it. It's like, right, it's okay.
You know, like they said to me when Kieran died, you know, I wanted a memorial to Kieran, and they said, I wanted to raise some money, and they said, oh, what are you going to start with, £1,000? And I said, well, what about 50,000? And they go, oh, Jen. Just go, oh, Jen. I said, well, let's just try. And we raised 156. You know, and you just go, oh well, if you don't try, you don't get, do you?
No.
And that's been my motto. So information for me is really key, but don't tell me I can't do something. And I think, believe it or not, I am the quietest, shyest person in my personal life. And people don't believe me. I am really reserved. I'm really insular. I like it quiet. But if I'm passionate about something, I will put my whole heart into it. And I think, I probably wasn't always that self-confident in what I was doing and how I did it. And I would always be the person that would just sit in the background and say to somebody else, and then they would come up with the idea, and then they go, okay. And I go, oh, well, I did that. And I think as you get a bit older, you just worry a little less about what people say. And with that comes that confidence. And I'm probably just at that stage in my life now that self-belief is kicking in. And actually, I go, do you know what? What's the worst somebody can say is no, isn't it? And actually...
You're what I call QB. Quietly brilliant. Because that's what you don't necessarily always have to be, the biggest, the loudest or whatever. But you're just quietly brilliant. And that's sort of like one of the reasons that I think Watty attracts a certain kind of nomination and a certain kind of woman, because they're always quietly brilliant in the background, getting on and doing really amazing stuff. But you wouldn't fling yourself, into the nominate me. It wouldn't be. No, it
wouldn't be my thing at all. Yeah. So I'm quite happy in the background. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, my family don't know half of what I do. I went to a talk once and my uncle was there. I didn't even know he was in the room. And he is the quietest, most reserved man you've ever seen. And he walked out of the room and he goes, that's my niece.
Oh, how fabulous.
But, my family wouldn't realise what I do or how I do it, because it's not important for me for people to know what I do. I don't need that kudos of it. The main thing is that it helps somebody somewhere along the line. And as long as it does that, I'll keep doing it.
Well, both in your professional life and also with your personal story, you have helped and saved, I'm sure. And okay, you're a nurse, so you're going to save lives, but also sort of like with your personal story, you have made a difference to thousands of people's lives.
And it's not always we're not good at self-praise, are we? But you know what, I have. Yeah. I've talked to tens of thousands of people over the years, and you don't realise it till you sit down. And I'm sure I have. Well, I know I have. One lady emailed me afterwards, and she'd driven to a venue, and there was a company conference on, and there was a Halfords next door. And she emailed me afterwards, and she said, because of your talk, I went to Halfords afterwards to get my tyres checked. I've been meaning to do it for months on end, and I didn't do it. And she said the guy in Halfords said if I'd done 70 miles an hour on the motorway on the way back, my tyre would have blown out. And so you go, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes the job worthwhile, doesn't it?
It definitely does.
So it does. And
So if you had to go back to yourself, because we're nearly out of time now, which I can't believe that this time goes so quickly. If you had to go back and give yourself a crispy ear about something that you may be worried about or whatever, what would that thing be?
Don't give a hoot about what people think. Don't care what people think. Do what you feel is right for you. And you know what? What is it? They say the people that mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind, or whatever it is, because actually we tend to put other people before ourselves. As women especially, and as mothers, we put everybody before ourselves. But actually, do you know what? Just do what you want to do. And as long as you're not hurting somebody else, and you're kind and you're professional, then just go for it. The worst something can happen is no, or you just won't get it, and that's not the end of the world.
What's the saying? The quiet kids don't get the sweets.
Yeah.
So it is about asking and sort of like standing in your own power.
And just don't worry about what other people say. It doesn't matter what other people say. It's the people that really love you and care for you will always polish your crown, won't they? They will always polish your crown.
Yeah.
and the other people just don't matter. They're just noise. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
Oh, honestly, Jen, I could sit here. What you've done and how you've done it. And I know we could have gone on for at least another 2 hours. You know, we'd have probably been still here at 4 o'clock. So honestly, thank you so much for doing what you do, because it truly is amazing, and I've absolutely loved hearing all about it. And hopefully, you know, you're going to carry on doing what you're doing and making that difference, because you are that difference.
Thank you, Ellie.
Oh, no, thank you,
Thank you
Jen.
for being you.
Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you. We try. And if we don't get a chance to put people's crowns on, we can maybe just straighten them every now and again.
Absolutely.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you for your time. This has been Ellie Kerr, the Crispy Ear podcast, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.